It's been a crazy week for Xbox. Remember, I don't know why I'm laughing. I think I'm laughing because, just a couple of months ago, I was doing a bunch of videos about these rumors of Xbox reportedly shipping first party titles to other consoles. And the whole time I was like, whoa, this is a crazy week for Xbox. The fandom is in flames. Like, things are really wild right now. And now we are right back in the same situation. What's up, y'all? I'm Ray, and this is my channel, Xbox Ready, where we talk everything going on with Xbox. And this week, there is a lot to talk about ever since they decided to close 4 Bethesda game studios, including Arcane Austin and Tango Gameworks. And since then, like I was just saying, it's been pretty crazy. People have been throwing out some pretty crazy takes in regards to the future of Xbox, how they're going to handle the rest of this generation going into the next, the future of Game Pass, all sorts of stuff. So let's dive into all of these peripheral offshoot news stories that have come out from this whole studio closure situation. And by the time we're done dissecting everything, I'll share a little revelation that I had just a couple of days ago and tell you why I am not personally worried about the situation anymore. Let's discuss. So if you clicked on this channel, if you clicked on this video, if you've been watching my videos for a long time, chances are you already know the situation, or at least the gist of it. Back on Tuesday, IGN obtained a leaked email from Xbox President Matt Booty, or he's President of Gaming Content and Services, I believe is his official title. Anyway, they somehow got their hands on an email where he was like, bloody, 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 yeah, and also we are closing down 4 studios, Arcane Austin, the people behind Prey and Redfall, Tango Gameworks, the guys who brought us the Evil Within series, HiFi Rush and Ghostwire Tokyo, Roundhouse Games, and Alpha Dog Games, who I believe are the people who made Mighty Doom. Roundhouse Games is apparently going to help out ZeniMax Online with Elder Scrolls Online content. Everyone else, no word about where they're being reassigned to or if they're being reassigned. As far as I know, they're just kind of out in the cold. So yeah, there's been a lot of drama and a lot of interesting tidbits of information following this news. First of all, I didn't know this, but apparently Redfall was going to get an offline update. Yes, back when this game launched, it launched with a very controversial feature of, well, you had to be online in order to play the game, which was very atypical of any Arcane game, whether it's Dishonored, Prey, Deathloop, because well, first of all of those are single player, and I can't remember off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure you didn't need a constant internet connection to play any of those titles. It caused a huge uproar in the community. People were like, well, I'm not going to play this game because I don't want to always be online because of this reason or that reason. And it's crazy ironic because they finally patched in another highly requested feature. They got a 60 FPS mode, performance mode into the game not too long ago, and they were going to give the most likely like the second most requested feature, being able to play this game offline. And then Microsoft was like, no, time's up, you're out of here. Studio closed. Apparently, Arcane Austin was also going to pitch a new immersive shooter, or immersive sim, I should say. And man, you know how pissed I would be if I poured my heart and soul into a games pitch and I showed up to work one day and got an email saying that I was fired? They were probably like, this is it, man. This is it. No longer will my career be defined by my work on Redfall. We're about to turn it around, baby. Oh, wait a minute. No, we're not. The studio's closed. According to The Verge, sources tell Tom Warren that privately, Microsoft employees, Xbox employees, they are bracing for even more layoffs, more closures. So Xbox isn't even done yet. We think it's crazy right now? No, apparently this is only the beginning. To be fair, Xbox employees are not the only ones who are feeling this type of way. I don't know if it was this recent GDC or the last one, but they did a survey of about like 5,000 game developers, and about like a huge percentage of them were like, yeah, I'm afraid I'm going to walk in any day and lose my job. An even bigger percentage of them were like, I know someone or I myself was fired. Internally, Microsoft is also apparently debating whether or not to put Call of Duty on Game Pass. Yes, that is right. I know a lot of people, when they started making plans for this acquisition and they started getting to work on it, the first thing on a lot of people's minds was like, oh, this would be the perfect opportunity to put Call of Duty on Game Pass, raise the value, and it would be awesome for customers who don't want to shell out the price of a full game every time a new Call of Duty comes out, which is pretty often. It was highly regarded as one of the biggest perks of Microsoft acquiring Activision Blizzard. To me, my mind went straight to Diablo 4. I was like, oh man, you're telling me that there is a future where the latest Diablo games are added day one to Game Pass? And I did end up getting that wish last March. But Diablo, pretty big franchise, not as big as Call of Duty. But with Game Pass stalling, they have come out and said that console growth of Game Pass has stalled out, And per their last earnings report, they said that without Activision Blizzard, Game Pass would have only increased by 1% in terms of revenue. Apparently, people are like, yo, we cannot put Call of Duty on Game Pass day one. No new Call of Duties day one. We need them to make money. It's like one of the only things that's making us money right now. Of course, that's just a rumor, as per The Verge's report, but obviously that would be diametrically opposed to what Xbox fans have been promised this entire generation. The latest games, day one, as part of your subscription. The cat's kind of out of the bag right now. There's no easy way out of this. Also, apparently, if they do put Call of Duty onto Game Pass, they are considering hiking the prices yet again. That's always something I thought might happen. I remember when they first announced this acquisition, I was like, maybe if they put Call of Duty on Game Pass and separated it into another tier, it's like Call of Duty plus Activision Blizzard, kind of like what they do with Game Pass Ultimate at EA Play. Buried underneath all of this news is apparently Microsoft is getting ready to launch their own mobile store in July. Sarah Bond says it's a way for them to get their first-party games to a mobile audience, games like Candy Crush, games like Call of Duty now. It's the first step in this new plan that they laid out during the Activision Blizzard trials, where they want to be a competitor for the App Store and the Google Play Store. This new Xbox mobile store is apparently going to be web-based. It's not going to be like an official app. That actually does sound kind of cool. It's time we got some competition in the mobile gaming space, but of course, that's not the focus this week. In other, I guess, lighter news, Xbox had this controller that they were putting out that actually looks really cool. It's like kind of in line with their Stormcloud Vapor controllers and things like that, but it's more orange and red base. It's more like flame inspired. And apparently when they launched the promotional stuff for this, it came with the tagline, or they used the tagline, "Feel the burn." Now, to me, I don't really see anything wrong with that tagline. Sure, like, this controller is kind of got like a flame aesthetic, flame vibe. But apparently people were really, really mad because it came the day after they fired those people at those Bethesda studios and they shut down those studios. So apparently people were like, this is really distasteful. How dare you? You got to change this now. Fix this now, Xbox. So they did. I don't know what the tagline is for this new Fire Vapor limited edition controller that they're doing, but it is no longer "Feel the Burn." I think that's a little, well, it's not unfair, okay? I can kind of see the connection now, but there's no way that whatever marketing department or PR department was aware that Microsoft was about to fire a bunch of people the same day that they put out promotional stuff for this controller. There's just no way. And also apparently Fallout 76 players who are also upset that Tango Gameworks is closing, much like myself. They apparently are nuking Phil Spencer's camp in-game, which that is hilarious to me. I know that Phil Spencer, he plays a lot of Fallout 76. He even plays it on the go with like his gaming handhelds and stuff. He's expressed frustration that there's no crossplay between PC and console before. We know that Phil is putting in work in Fallout 76. I didn't know that that's something that you can do in-game. I don't play 76 like that, but someone was explaining to me saying that if your camp gets nuked, it destroys your camp, but if you have enough materials, you can build it up no problem. But it also heavily irradiates the area around it, I guess, making all the enemies super hard. I guess that doesn't really have anything to do with the video, but it's pretty funny. Speaking of Phil Spencer, how has Xbox leadership responded to this whole situation? They caught a lot of flack earlier this year when they went pretty much dead silent in the face of all of these multi-platform rumors. Have they handled it differently this time? Well, not exactly. We haven't heard anything from Phil Spencer. We haven't heard anything from Matt Booty, not in any official capacity. Apparently, Matt Booty held like a small town hall phone call situation where, oddly enough, he said that Xbox needs smaller games like HiFi Rush because they need awards and prestige. So if you need more games like HiFi Rush that will win a bunch of awards, generate a lot of positive buzz, why would you shut down the studio that made HiFi Rush? I read somewhere, I can't find it now, that the decision to shut down these studios wasn't based on performance or like the failure of Redfall, stuff like that, but it's, I just, my bad. I just kind of like stroked out there for a second. Like, we just need answers. We need straight up answers. Not like this answer that Sarah Bond gave recently on Bloomberg Tech, where she said a bunch of stuff, but didn't really say anything at all at the same time. She was asked straight up, hey, like, what's going on with these studio closures? You said that like X, Y, and Z was a success. but you still close it down. What do you define as success, and like what is justified for closure and what is not?
You know, one of the things I really love about the games industry is it's a creative art form. And it means that the situation and what success is for each game and studio is also really unique. Like there's no one size fits all to it for us. Um, and so we look at each studio, each game team, and we look at a whole variety of factors when we're faced with sort of making decisions and trade offs like that. But it all comes back to our long term commitment to the games we create, the devices we build, the services, and ensuring that we're setting ourselves up to be able to deliver on those promises.
And it's like, why are they being so vague? It's so weird. On one hand, Phil Spencer will respond to people's DMs on Xbox Live, respond to their emails. On the other end, we can't get a straight answer on what the future of Xbox is and like if there's going to be any more studio closures and what their strategy is. So again, the question becomes, where do we go from here? And like I mentioned earlier in the video, I had a little bit of a revelation when it comes to all of this. I can't remember what news article I was reading in regards to this whole situation, but I read someone's comment on one of these news articles of all things, and they brought up a pretty good point. The gist of the comment was like, what percentage of the actual video game community actually cares about stuff like this? Like, we know that people who are in the kind of echo chamber, like social media machine of this whole news cycle, we care a lot about it because it's practically our jobs at this point. But, like, to the average video game fan, the average Xbox fan, how big of a deal is it that Tango Gameworks is closed? And I was like, huh, that's kind of a good point. I wonder like what the actual percentage is of people who would see this news and sell their Xbox. Cuz like I see a lot of people online saying that like I'm done with Xbox, I'm done with Microsoft. I'm never buying another Xbox product again, not another console, not another game. They're never getting a penny out of me. Like I think about Netflix and what they've gone through over the past couple of years. It's like, oh, they used to be the king of streamers, but oh, just wait. How are they going to respond to when Amazon gets into streaming, Disney gets into streaming? Oh, Hulu's on the rise. Oh, all these other companies are also doing their own streaming platforms. Netflix's days at the top are done. And it seems like Netflix is still at the top. It's like they're the only people who figured out how to make streaming film and television work. How many people at the time are like, cuties, this is disgusting. Why would Netflix even dare put this on their service? I'm boycotting them. I'm canceling my subscription. They're never going to recover from this. And they're doing just fine. And same thing with all the Dave Chappelle specials. Oh, how dare you give Dave Chappelle a platform? He's scum. Canceling my subscription. You're terrible. They still seem to be fine. What else? I mean, all the password sharing stuff. Like, oh, we're cracking down on password sharing. If you want to watch Netflix, you got to be in the same household. Oh, this is going to be the end of them. They suck. I'm canceling my subscription. And they're making more money than ever now. Like, how many times and how many different industries and products and platforms have we seen, like, oh, this is the end, this is the end, this is the end, only for it not to be the end? And it's the same thing with Xbox right now. Oh, Xbox is done. Xbox is cooked. They are finished. I've been hearing that for like 10, 12 years at this point, and they're still around. Listen, like I always say, at the end of the day, I'm just a dude in his apartment with a camera and a YouTube channel. So Xbox could die. I don't think it's going to happen tomorrow or next year, but sure, it could die. Crazier things have happened. Microsoft could exit the gaming business, sure. But it's time to wake up and realize this is not an Xbox problem. This is a whole gaming industry problem. Massive layoffs and studio closures have happened everywhere. Sony, Embracer Group, Take-Two, Unity, Riot, EA, Ubisoft. The list goes on and on and on. There's a whole Wikipedia page detailing it, and it's being updated in real time. And it's not just a video game industry problem either. It is a problem in every industry where entertainment, art meets commerce. It's a problem in the film industry. I live in LA, and right now people are freaking out thinking like, what the hell? Fall Guy is flopping at the box office, even though it has good reviews, even though it has star power with Ryan Gosling, fresh off of a multi-million-dollar blockbuster hit in Barbie, and also Emily Blunt. And also we got the director from frickin' Bullet Train to do it, which did pretty well too. What is going on? We can't figure out why this movie is flopping and we're losing money left and right. Xbox, other gaming companies, other entertainment companies, fitness companies, you name it, they made this huge bet, this huge gamble back in 2020. They were like, man, we're seeing explosive growth. Let's hire people and let's prepare and run our company like we're going to experience that kind of growth for the rest of our life. And of course, that did not happen. Things are very weird right now for Xbox, yes, but they're very weird for everybody. But it would be nice if Xbox leadership, instead of going dead radio ass silent, would just say that. Don't come out with like all this corporate PR speak. Don't dance around it. Like, how refreshing would it be if Phil Spencer came out and was like, listen, guys, like back in 2019, back in 2020, we thought the games industry was going to go in a certain direction, but it is not. People aren't playing games at the rate that they were back then. People aren't buying home gaming consoles at the same rate halfway into this generation as they were halfway into the PS4, Xbox One generation. People are experiencing subscriber fatigue. They don't want to sign up for subscription services anymore. Things are way different than we thought they'd be, and we got to readjust or die trying. And that's really what it comes down to. I don't think Xbox is going to turn around and shut down tomorrow. I don't think they're going to stop making Xbox consoles. But the future of Xbox is going to look a lot different than when I first started this channel back in 2021. Because back in 2021, they didn't have Activision Blizzard. They didn't spend $70 billion to freaking buy this publisher and then have to turn around and make sure that it was worth it. People are saying that they lost their identity. I do agree with that. They are in between identities. They're not the Xbox we knew 20 years ago, not even 10 years ago. But they gotta buckle down and figure it out. And it starts again. Just make good games. Make good games that people want to play and the people will come to your platform. It doesn't matter what you do, what controversies that you have. Unfortunately, we have seen that in the past. If they cannot deliver on the good games, then I'm sorry, then it really truly is over. Well, then you are lost! And they're going to be put to their real tests later this month when they release Hellblade 2. Following that, they have a pretty strong lineup. They have Avowed, they have Microsoft Flight Simulator, they got a new Call of Duty. They may even be revealing a new Gears of War this summer. And then they'll wrap up the year with Indiana Jones. That's a pretty decent lineup of games. If they are all bangers, if they come out on time, that's the other thing, they cannot be delayed. All of these games have to come out in 2024 or else they are cooked, in my opinion. Anyways, guys, that's all the Xbox stuff I have to talk about today. If you made it this far into the video, consider subscribing. About like, last time I checked my analytics, it was like 60% of people who watch the channel are not subscribed. Why not? If you like the video and you keep watching, consider subscribing. Thanks again for stopping by, and we'll see you in the next video.